Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey, Cody.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm doing
What's
good.
cracking, everybody?
Daniel, hey.
I'm here, present and accounted for all.
All right.
Well, laser
Should I
beams.
go get my green screen too?
It's actually not a green screen. It's just an old photo I made back in the day, and when I was playing around with things behind me instead of like my wall, I thought this was the coolest one I had. Oh, nice! It's got the mirror effect.
Yeah, I've been playing with trying to capture the Zoom call and put my video next to it. So this is yeah, so I usually have let's see if I can demonstrate. Usually have the Zoom call on half of this screen here. Like this. Let's see. This will work. No. Sec. Exit full screen. All right. So with the Windows arrows, so I usually have Zoom on half the screen here, capturing it like that.
I got you.
But I've been playing with it over here on the screen where I usually go full screen with the clips. So put that here and set that to full screen, and then the controls still pop up, but then let's see, I go to the Zoom call capture, and I can put this little frame over that covers that, and then I just have to have a camera. I've got multiple instances of the here, let's see if you can oh, it's not going to stay there. This is tricky. So this is why I got to figure out how I'm going to do this, like do it live and then to demonstrate all this. But I've got yeah, I've got multiple instances of my video sized to cover up the panel there.
Okay.
So then going out to the stream, the stream and the recording, it'll look like what you're seeing in my portion of the window on the Zoom call right now. So I was kind of working through that with TJ earlier this week.
Fun playtime.
Yeah.
Those are all like features inside of the Zoom preferences? Or it's a mixture of Zoom and then something outside of Zoom?
OBS.
OBS, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, here's OBS.
Okay. So it's
let me share the Zoom screen share. Okay. So now, okay, so you should be you should be seeing the big monitor.
Yep.
And now I switch over here. Of course, now you're not going to see the Zoom call, but that's what you would have seen is you guys here and here. So I've got these camera. This is
source
like
inputs.
Yeah, 5 or 6 people. That's 3 people. Oh, that was another one. So this is just side by side, 2 people. But it's going to take some adjustment because like over here it's cropped out and now the camera's frozen for some reason.
Cameras don't freeze up ever.
Yeah, I'm asking a lot of and see, these are all nested scenes. So these are taking a previous scene from OBS, like this one, and then using it as a source in OBS. So let's see if the camera
It's Billy Gates
stops.
that Billy holding his new book. Here's my new book that no one's gonna buy. Oh, it's James.
Oh, now what happened? So I have my camera stopped working. That's kind of unusual. It freezes frequently, but
Well, I will say this is miles beyond when we were first chatting and we were struggling to get even video up. So this is cool.
Yeah, it's like a live DJ service for video feeds and sampling services. It's pretty unique.
Yeah. Let's see, XSplit crashed. Yeah, welcome, Patrick.
What's up, man?
It's good to have you here.
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of multitasking. I'm cleaning out the mealworms before we go to town, but glad to be here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to stay for the full thing, and if I could be selfish and ask to go first whenever you're ready to kick it off.
Go first.
Yeah.
Just because I'm trying to get out of here. Okay, cool. Well, then let me stop multitasking.
Yeah, put that typewriter away.
So the main thing I wanted to jump in is just confirm where you are with doing the lightning thing and where you want to go. And then I can try and figure out the path and how I can help you all along there.
Okay.
So just to recap, 2 questions I have already, and then maybe we can figure some out as we go. Do you have a lightning address already, or is that part of this setup?
I did set one up via Albi, so that's the first lightning address I have as far as I know. I've been curious about it. Now I have one via Albi.
Cool. So next step is, or next question rather. So are you wanting to just add an option for, one-off tips, or is this a step towards integrating this with other functionality like, your subscription service, or maybe even autonomy payments?
That's a good question. So no, for this address, the address I have now, I might do that for my own thing.
Sure.
But so I want to figure out how to get an address for Grand Theft World, and say link that to the best spot on the website where we could direct people to go during the live stream. Just go and get better at asking, say, hey, we'd like to we want to do the value for value thing, and ask for your support, and here's one way you can go here, and send via the lightning address.
Cool. So current vision is just make as frictionless as possible a one-time support option, and then maybe later on try and integrate it to other things.
Yes.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
If it's
Okay. Sweet. Well, the good news is, from what I've seen so far, I mean, you can make a specific landing page for it, but you can kind of integrate with your whole site, and as long as they have the plugin, it just pops up for them. Like I said, I'm going to do some testing on my own site, but once I get this dialed in, I'd like to do it. Like, a lot of people will go in Google businesses and be like, hey, you're not on Google, I'll put you on Google for $200, like making this like a little microservice I can offer people. So this would be a good test case to prove that up and iron out any kinks. So let me get cracking on that. Hopefully come Monday, I'll have something for you. And then if any other questions come up, I'll just ping you on Discord.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
For sure, man. Let's see, was there anything else I had? No, like I said, I'm gonna go do testing and then figure it out. So yeah, thanks for sharing some time, and I look forward to when I can actually catch all of one of these.
Right on. Yeah, thanks for joining us. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Hey, James.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? So that was for what? Setting up a Lightning node?
A Lightning address to hopefully accept some micropayments with for the Grand Theft World podcast, and then
Nice.
yeah, because somebody approached me at Float Fest, a guy from Austin, and we failed to exchange information properly. I remember like searching on Telegram or something. Anyway, he was like, I want to help you set up Grand Theft World, like to receive Lightning payments or be on the, like, integrated the way No Agenda is on podcasting 2.0. So I regret that transaction like kind of broke down. I don't know what happened.
Sometimes shit just happens, you know?
Yeah. And then so yeah, James, I was messaging you earlier. We can bring this up just since I mentioned No Agenda. And I don't know if anybody else listens to No Agenda, but Rich was asking me about the show yesterday, and it's funny because I had messaged him like 4 months ago, like, hey, listen to this interview with Adam Curry. I want to get your thoughts on how we might implement some of his techniques with the Grand Theft World. Anyway, yeah, so we were talking in the meeting yesterday about that community and how we could use get some information in front of them with a super chat, a donation, get something read out, but have it be in response to something on the show where maybe we offer a missing puzzle piece or a nugget of information to the audience.
That would be good, but that's going to take some work
Right.
to try and time that. Now, here's what I can tell you. Since I've been on No Agenda Social for about the last year or so and interacted with a fair amount of the people that you hear about on the show, like DC Girl and Dame Jennifer. Like I've actually had conversations with these people through No Agenda Social. There is an awareness among some of the people on No Agenda Social of Grand Theft World, of Richard Grove and the work that he has done, but I would definitely not say that it's like widespread, right? It's kind of like here and there, like every now and then, because every time I put out an episode of Liberty Radio, obviously I make a post in every social ghetto that I'm a part of, right? So that I can try to direct as many eyes and ears to it as I possibly can. And as I've been doing that over the course of time, I have gotten comments back from, just kind of random people in No Agenda Social. Oh, hey, I know Richard Grove. I love his work. Oh, I love Grand Theft World. Those sorts of things. So there's definitely some overlap. But I think your idea of sending in a donation, and it would have to be an executive producer donation, so $200 or higher, in order to get any sort of message read. I think that's a great idea. And I also, the other thought that I had about it today, because, in the course of getting other things done over the course of today, it's kind of been in the back of my mind, and I've been kind of rolling it over a little bit. I would think a Sunday show would be the perfect time to do it.
Yeah.
You might want to do it on Thursday because, again, not everybody listens live like I do, right? But there are a lot of people that catch it. If they're not catching it live, they catch it like right after it drops, which here on East Coast, you're probably talking about 6 p.m. So if they're picking it up immediately once the episode drops, it's usually about a 3-hour episode. That means by the time they get finished with that episode of No Agenda Social, we're at 9:00, right? And Grand Theft World's getting ready to go on. So I don't know. That was just kind of an initial idea that I had. I don't know. There's overlap when it comes to the content. And then sometimes there's not, you know what I'm saying? It's like they get into the historical aspect of things. Yes, but it's only in so much as what they can draw, from their own experience. So
Right.
they're not really digging into like, oh, well, you know, it was actually like the Rockefellers that set up these NGOs back in the 1930s that contributed to, you know, this horrible situation that we have today. I don't know. I'd have to keep kicking that idea around a little bit to try and come up with something. I think definitely you would want to keep the note as brief as possible, but try and cram in, you know, as much information into that brief message as you possibly can. Because again, you've heard, like I have, how much they really don't like notes that just go on and on and on and on. I don't know. I have to keep thinking on that. But I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, me too. And I think, provide a little value, put it out there, and then hopefully we'll implement some of the things to learn from how they do things. Like I talked about the time, talent, treasure concept, and how they're really good at, and how they, on the donate page, how they put forth, like, hey, if you want to, if it's anonymous, keep it under this amount. If you want to get your name or your message read on the show, there's that. And Rich was like, oh, we might be leaving some money on the table because there's probably people out there that will have something to contribute and would like to donate more. So yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks. We'll just be stewing on that and looking for an opportunity. And yeah, that'll be good. Hey, TJ. Hey, you're muted.
Yeah, I made it. I came a little late in the conversation, so I'm a little lost on what you're talking about with no agenda other than if you're starting something or even something that's already started to do a donation to be read on the first donation segment is an amazing idea. And I fully intend on doing that once I launch my podcast. So I thought about that 6 months ago. I told Amanda that, and I was like, you know what? I said, this would be a perfect idea. They'll read it. As far as like context, I don't think you really have to do much context. I mean, like, just give a generalization of what you're doing. I mean, they'll read it and they'll spit off your, I listen to their show every week, both times a week for the most part. And they'll spit off your web address and everything else like that.
Yeah.
So, just that alone, I think will draw enough curiosity where you'll get some, attention your way with people that are listening.
Yeah. The idea was to just try to do it so that we offer like a nugget of information to them and to the audience. So it's not just a shameless plug. Some
boots on the ground reports. Yeah. That's the best thing about what they do. Yeah, I mean, they want boots on the ground reports.
Right there.
It's like, it's like that's where you come in as a producer. That's the whole concept behind producer and associate producer or executive producer or whatever. Whole concept behind that is that's why they like either keep it short with some jingles because that's content, or if you're going to add a little bit more context, I mean, obviously still don't make a mile long letter. Yes, James is absolutely right. They can't stand that. And they mention it constantly, but you can still fit in a chunk, like you said, like a chunk of information, like a boots on the ground report or something, like something of real value that and they'll call that content. You know what I mean? So like, that's basically what they want, that you're producing content, and that's why you're a producer. And that's the whole concept behind that segment. So yeah, I think that would definitely bring in a lot more value, and they'll talk much higher about you if you have a good nugget of information to go along with that. definitely.
Right on. I like your background. You are you doing sales calls or
No, I'm going to be an installer.
well, yeah, I know.
Yeah, so no, I'm not doing sales calls yet, but I got a couple more meetings probably the beginning of next week with business development and marketing.
So yeah, we talked about this, but do you want to fill in everybody else if they haven't heard?
Yeah, so yeah, everybody basically like this is something I wanted to do when I quit my job. It was one of the things I was going to do in the beginning, and it's kind of pussyfooting around. But now that I'm getting closer to moving into the area that I intend on growing this business is so I'm sure you guys are all familiar with Jim Gale and the Food Forest Abundance program. If you're not, I'm surprised. But anyway, you'll also hear them in a lot of podcasts and stuff. Like I always talk about like becoming a cooperative with them. So basically, I reached out to him last week and set everything up. So now I'm going to be a cooperative installer with them. Basically, what that means is I use their their brand and their resources basically as far as design and support and a multitude of different areas. And basically, yeah, I mean, we have to sell plans or maybe they sell plans, they give us leads or whatever. But then once it becomes install time, that's basically where I would come in and work with the customer and provide them a quote on what it would cost to have it installed. If they choose to go install instead of DIY, which they can go either way, but if they choose to install, yeah, I mean, Food Forest, if they have a lead that's in my area, they'll just send it to me. After, I mean, they sell the plan or whatever. If there's a lead, I can follow up with them. And then I can also do my own marketing and lead sourcing and stuff like that, which Amanda and I have already started building the website for it and everything. So yeah, pretty stoked on it. I got a lot to learn though. I mean, I honestly don't know shit about permaculture. Well, I'm very little anyway, but they send you, I mean, well, once you sign up with them and stuff, you got a lifelong permaculture course at your avail, plus a ton of other content, books, all kinds of stuff. I got a plethora of information that I've been digging through and reading through and whatever all this week. So yeah, but I'm pretty stoked. It's gonna be good. I mean, it's a good business model. I mean, you pretty much run business at a 40% margin, which is huge. The smallest install they really do. I mean, we can do it any size, but I mean, for as far as what they like promote is like 1/8 of an acre. And that's like probably, I mean, right around 20 grand coming from the customer. And at a 40% margin, that makes me make like 8 grand. And then me being a partner with the Food Forest Abundance, they obviously get like a 7 or 10% of that $8,000 for supplying me with all the resources and everything like that and using their brand label and name and everything like. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, you know, so it's gonna be good. And it's yeah, I mean, one of the big reasons I quit my job was because it lacked purpose. And I did and broke down some numbers. If I could do 2 installs a month, once I get this all going, I can make the same amount of money as I was making at my former job, at my 6-figure income job. So that's my goal, is to just be able to, I mean, acquire 2 installs a month once I fully launch this thing. And then I'll have my job that has purpose that I enjoy doing. I like being outside. I'm kind of a nature buff. So yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. I'm excited.
And you've been getting footage on your property up north.
Yeah.
Is that something you would implement?
Yeah. So
document your installs and be able to make some content out of that.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. I mean, they actually promote you doing that. I mean, so they can use it as well. Yeah. I mean, so, I mean, I might, that's the cool thing about them. They're like really cool. Yeah. I mean, they're not like weird corporatized, like weirdos. Yeah. I mean, like to what I'm used to dealing with. Yeah. I mean, they have a big business. Yeah. I mean, going, that's really scaling right now. And I mean, they got a lot of people, a lot of cooperatives like myself will be, yeah, I mean, soon. But yeah, they're pretty open to whatever. I mean, like they give me a bunch of marketing stuff and they give me the option. I don't even have to use any of it or anything, but like they give it to you. So like, yeah, I mean, you can kind of show that overlap with the brand. Yeah. I mean, but I'm my own business. I'm my own LLC. Yeah. I mean, so I run my own thing and they just, yeah. So they actually promote that, like that they ask you to take before and after pictures and footage and stuff like that. The only thing is with this is like, yeah, I mean, the only catch-22 when you're doing it in business is basically I have to have the client's permission to actually put footage of their property out. Yeah, I mean, but that's actually in the document yeah, I mean, the quoting document. So basically right on that document, they basically check yes or no of whether we can use the footage from their property as marketing material. Yeah, I mean, they can't stop us from taking it, but like as far as how we utilize it, I mean, just like Richard does. I mean, if you guys all remember getting in autonomy and after graduation stuff, there's always a little check mark that says, can we use this footage for marketing? Same shit. Yeah, I mean, so we just got to get, yeah, I mean, client permission to use that. But yeah, I fully intend on doing that for sure. Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, and while you were talking, I was pulling up a link. Actually, Tyler Bloyer shared with me this episode 2758 of the Survival Podcast, building a content-based business for lifestyle freedom. And I'll share the links. It's from a couple of years ago, but there's a lot of good insight. I haven't finished listening through, and
yeah, I'll check that out for sure.
there's a lot to absorb in there. I just dropped it in
I
the
see it.
channels. I'll drop it in the chat here too for convenience sake, if anybody wants to check it out. Hey, Michael.
And then here real quick, here I'll share my screen real quick. Let's see. Yeah. And this is my property from this last week when I did the solar install. So these are the stands I built. They're not in order particularly, but I'm just going to breeze through them real quick. That's my dad and my brother. They came down from New York to help me. So those are the solar stands once they're on the stands. Those are my inverters inside the shack that I built to house the inverters and the batteries and stuff. That's the building pretty much done. I mean, I got to seal it and finish screwing off the roof. That's just another view of the panels, the combiner box. All this is going to go underground into that shack. This is another. So I like homemade those. I just Googled like a way to make adjustable racks for solar panels. And I found this picture and I just kind of figured it out based off the picture. That's my dad in the shack. So I built it way too tall probably, but that's okay. He's really good with electricity and stuff. That's why one of the reasons why I asked him to come down. So because he installed all the AC side, like the standard AC side. And this is like the battery for it and everything. I got to tighten it up and clean it up. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, it's operational and it's hooked up now. So, oh, and then I accidentally, me and my dad was trying to do something we shouldn't have been doing. And I fried one of these inverters. So that's why you saw two earlier. And now there's only one, but it's under warranty. So I'll get a new one, but that sucked. So basically that one inverter runs my entire property right now, except for my well. I need that other inverter so I can run two phase, and then I'll be able to run my well too. And then I won't have to use a generator anymore. Yeah. See, this was like earlier on in the project. We just got done setting posts and we were still building the building. And that's my property. Like when we created Tent City, because this is all I have usually is a little camper. So I had to bring up some tents and stuff for my dad and my brother and everything. It was a good time. It was fun. But that's yeah, so
Cool.
that's my property. Anyway, figure I'd share that with you guys real quick, but yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see as you build that out.
Yeah, I'm hold on here. Yeah, no, I'm yeah, that's my little freaking, yeah, my other child in a sense. I love being up there, man. I love, yeah, I mean, like I bought that place, it was nothing but trees. So what you see there, other than the help that I got from my dad and my brother this past week, everything else I did pretty much 100% myself. About 90% of it. What's that?
Have you been taking footage while you've been building?
Yeah, I got a ton of footage. Yeah, I got a ton of footage. I just got to edit it together and stuff, like, which I have been doing. Yeah, I mean, because I wanted to curtail with my podcast. So, but yeah, I got yeah, a whole shitload of footage. I got a GoPro probably like, I don't know, September or August. Well, it was October actually, because it was right month before my birthday. So yeah, last October I got a GoPro. So I've taken quite a bit of footage since I got that. Prior to that, it was all by my phone or on my phone. I mean, I still got some of it, but it's not the best quality. You know what I mean? But I'll work with it to fit it in, put kind of a timeline together. Yeah, I mean, break it up in separate videos. You know what I mean, kind of drive them along with my journey, so to speak. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm going up there tomorrow night because I want to, like, because I got everything running. And I left it running because I needed that air conditioner to stay running to keep that shack cool. So, but I got everything done like right before I had to leave. So I'm excited to see how everything is working and going. So yeah, but yeah, good times. It's good. It's a huge project, good project, but yeah, it's a lot of work goes into it, more than I even, presumed at the beginning. Hell of a lot more.
Right on. Daniel, I wanted to ask you, since, you've been with your business, were you documenting or making content with any of the stuff you were doing?
Yeah, just basically the same thing he kind of said there is when I first started prepping my field to put in the first crop of hemp in 2019, I was out taking video and photo just to me laying the mulch because I was just working over sandy soil. So I had to lay all that earth on top, and used a wheelbarrow for a while. Then a different time I was using a 4x4, just pulling a little mini trailer. And I took photos and videos starting then right on through till, I had the crop and the harvest in the storage unit, and then in the kitchen when I'm making the oils. So the whole kind of purpose was to film it all the way through to have this content to make the Was Cannabis Farm story, like a 2-season bunch of episodes. Yeah, fun things happen, flat tires, encounters with police. Growing hemp in Wisconsin's exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Hell yeah, I'd like to see that when you put it together. Yeah, next is going to be, I got to get my septic. That's one of the other big projects. But the other part is, especially now that I'm learning the permaculture stuff just over last week, I kind of know what to do next to get my food forest going. So I got like a corner of the front of my property that I'm gonna get my buddy's Kubota over there so he can bush hog it, clean it up, so that way I can start laying cardboard and wood chips and everything, get the soil ready for the fall. Even though I live in Florida, I could technically grow whatever, but I have some time because I'm not up there full time yet. So I figure what better, to prep the soil now, kind of do it in phases, so that way when fall comes, I can just start, planting. So it's gonna be pretty sweet.
Looks really cool. I like those photos.
Thanks, man. I can't wait to build an actual house, but what's there serves its purpose for now. So yeah, hopefully by next year, this time I'll at least be in the midst of building my home. I'm not trying to build a mansion by no means. Yeah, it's just something simple. My kind of idea behind it all is going to be like build like like a 750 to 1,000 square foot house, and then like for other things that I want to do and stuff, I'm going to build separate buildings. Yeah, kind of put paths like in between stuff and make it kind of like cool like that. So like for media, I want to do a separate building for like my studio. Like it won't even be a part of my house. So
that sounds cool. I remember seeing a video of someone in Northern California had a setup like that. They built separate buildings, and over the course of like 30 years, they ended up with like 7 different buildings. And the videos I saw, like this older man was trying to pass it on to someone to come and take residence and be a caretaker. I never followed up on it, but that, in a climate like that, why make hallways when you could just have nature be the hallway? It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's 100% the way I see it, because like when I'm up there, I say I want a house, but a lot of that it's I'm outside 80% of the time. I always have something to do out there, whether it's trimming stuff, moving stuff, building stuff, whatever the case. It's just constant. So I look forward to where I'm up there full time and I can start. Once I implement food forest and garden and some animals down the road and stuff like that, it's gonna be awesome. I ain't gonna, and if that's why I did this food forest thing. If I could do 2 installs a month, once I get rolling and make what I was making at my job and basically work less than half the amount of time that I worked by far, and also do something I'm enjoying and also be helping people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a triple win, right?
When it's like from The Office, it's a win-win-win-win-win.
Right. Exactly. So that's my plan. So it's just, I'll make it happen. This is how long it takes, but it'll happen. That's my attitude.
Hey, Daniel, do you want to talk about the project you're working on? Because you shared this, the comic narration and commentary
Yeah.
last week. So are you cutting that up? Is that-
Yeah. That's kind of what happened is like, because I put that up in 2020 and like sent it around to some people, like just some friends. And I'm honestly surprised it's still on YouTube. But what I went back and did a couple weeks ago is because my notes originally on it were 2007. I found it. My boss came into work with it, said he found it in his dad's attic. And in 2007, me and a coworker were hitting my boss up with 9/11 truth constantly, and sovereign citizenship information. My coworker was all into that. So this guy was getting bamboozled with this conspiracy theory information, InfoWars, and he like brought this comic book. He was like, "What do you guys think about this?" And I was like, "I want to scan it." So I scanned it, and after I read through it, all the stuff inside kind of blew my mind compared to like executive orders that had been written in past, just like over a 70-year window, like even starting at 1913 in the bank crashes. So I wrote these notes up, and then it just sat there forever. And then when pandemic started, I was like, I gotta narrate this comic, and I should put my little commentary at the end. But it's too long. I think it's too long. 35 minutes is a long time. I mean, that's what it takes to read the comic. So what I did recently was I just took like 20 points out of it that have happened, especially recently with the food getting blown up. Because there's a passage in the comic where actually the guy says, I've got orders from the Kremlin to blow up the silos. And the guys around him were like, what? The people will kill us. And he's like, nope, we're doing it. And then they order people to bomb the silos. And like, I cut right from that to Tucker talking about the plane crashes. And I don't know, there's just so many things that lined up. Yeah. So I'm cutting it in. So what I've got so far is 10 minutes. And then I'm going to go from that into, my first affiliate link for Autonomy, but I'm going to hit Grand Theft World first, because I feel like if someone watches this, they're going to go, how do I stay informed on what's going on? And it's going to be, go here if you want to watch the whole comic, and go here if you want to keep informed on how to interpret what's going on around you. And if you feel like school left you handicapped, here's 19 skills. If you feel like you're pretty sharp already, maybe you want to jump through an obstacle course and test, you got those skills, really? Are you good enough? Boom, kind of like the rough version I've got so far.
Awesome.
I like it. LD, is that what he's talking about on your screen?
Yeah. I'm just.
You drop that link
silently. Yeah.
That's the original.
Discord?
That's the
Oh,
The one I'm making now has like a lot less of like none of the slides really. The one I'm putting together now, I could actually share screen because I've got Premiere up, but I still want to get some music in the background, but I'm pretty close to wrapping it. I'm excited to as well, because it's the first a piece like this I've made in 12 plus years that's like really motivated by truth seeking and being able to partner now with Autonomy. And I mean, I'm talking to LD right now, so like it's really unique for me to be able to share stuff from my background, and kind of it's like I feel like I'm a node merging into like a big network of life that's thriving inside of all this death around us. It's pretty exciting.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a pretty damn
watched
cool
it.
feeling.
I watched it. I thought it was great, man. I really think you did a fabulous job on that. Like the tie-ins with all the presidential executive orders and stuff. And that was just so well done.
Cool.
So
Yeah. Imagine getting that
congratulations
imagine getting it in 10 minutes, and then with all the new stuff that's going down, yeah. Because when I made that, I didn't know Grand Theft World was happening yet. I think that was like a couple months before I checked an old email, and I had a link from Chad and Hope saying, oh, check out this new thing. And then I got, someone probably went back and sent out the link to Chad and Hope subscribers not long after it started. And now here I am. We need to talk about Sandy Hook. Some of the stuff when I was going back, I want to add, some of the stuff was almost impossible to find. And just last week, I wanted to source a good clip regarding the stalling of the 9/11 investigation, like the Jersey Girls, and how their story was told in Press for Truth, 9/11 Press for Truth. And so I went back, and that movie is not on the internet anywhere. You can't buy it, you can't rent it, you can't download it, not even on BitChute or Odyssey. So 9/11 Press for Truth is being censored right now. So I went and grabbed my DVD copy and put it in TV and recorded the TV so I can get this clip in to what I'm making right now. And it's Dick Cheney talking to an audience saying an investigation must not interfere with our ongoing attempts to prevent the next terrorist attack. So it's literally from the comic book when he says there's not going to be an investigation. And then you got Dick Cheney saying that very same thing. But I had to go dig it off a DVD because it's not on the net. And then I watched the rest of the documentary because I had forgotten how much these girls right there they are. They bash Bush like hardcore. And that was a big no-no in 2006, 7, 8, because everybody loved Bush. Everybody loved the Iraq war. And now it's the reverse. Now everybody supposedly loves Biden and everybody supposedly is a Democrat, but it's all just a big sham on both sides. And I feel like where the Republicans were being duped, 2001, 2008, now the tables are turned, and all these people who've been supporting Biden and Bernie are like, they're getting hung up on a rope. And now everyone's like, well, what do we got left? Well, here comes the ensuing chaos, because now we're going to have food shortages. They're going to go through, the pandemic scenario. And it's huge. It's like one long thread that seems really clear to me, but I've been listening to conspiracy stuff since 2007. So
there's a book called To Live, and it's about the Chinese, the Chinese situation back in like the 30s and going forward, and it's like an old man kind of telling his tale of his whole life. It's the same damn thing. I mean, like where we're at right now is essentially where, like in China, they told everybody, bring your food in, we're going to do this as a collective, and everything's going to run, wonderfully. We're about to that point, with like people are going to start complaining about, not having enough food. And so the government's going to jump in and say, oh, okay, we'll take care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years down the road, everybody's starving to death. And, they just shoot the next guy that's in charge, we'll hang the next guy.
That's why we need food forests everywhere.
I mean, that's,
yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
But here, this is like, this literature is out there, man.
Mhm.
And we just need to like wake people up, man. But I feel like, man, there's just so many people, because I've been talking to some of my friends and family and stuff, and it's just like, oh my God, I start off with kind of like, I just want us to be like a comedy, and it ends up being a tragedy.
That's why it's tragedy and hope, man. That's why it's both,
But I've been discouraged the past few days, man, because it's just it's like you're talking to people that like you're like you like trying to get them to wake up.
Well, it's like Yuri
like just
Bezmenov
alive.
said, they won't, it doesn't matter what you say. You can show them facts. You can show them every bit of truth and completely 100% reliable, everything, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And they won't believe you until they got a boot on their throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
Yeah.
I think people wake up on their own. The important thing for those of us who are creating media to stand in opposition to the programming that is out there is to try and reach the people who are, newly awakened. The people who realize that shit is going sideways at an exponential rate, and they're like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Like they still haven't gotten to the point where they're able to figure things out on their own, and they're looking for someone to give them direction. Like, I think that's probably the better place to put focus.
The depressing thing is, though, is that like you tell somebody you got to get your food in order, man. Look at what's going on. And I was doing that like 10 years ago, and here it's like right in front of their face, and I'm like, man, get your head out of your ass, please. and still,
they're either going to do it or they're not. I mean, that's kind of the thing. So I don't know. It just seems to me like not sharing the information is probably the worst possible thing to do. Like, you still got to share the information. You just got to try and get it to the right people. You know?
Yeah. On that, there's a Old Testament scripture reference to the watchtower, a person who's assigned a watchtower over a city in the desert that's a walled city. They have an obligation. And so they're up in the tower at night. Everyone's sleeping inside the city. They're charged with looking. And if they see a bunch of people coming down the road with torches and they say they've done their duty, as long as they've conveyed the message. If they see and don't convey the message, now they got blood on their hands because they didn't give anyone the chance. And so I kind of feel like that's the cage stage mentality when someone first wakens up to 9/11 or New World Order, like, I got to tell my mom, I got to tell everybody. And everyone, I mean, I was in the cage stage for a long time. I was putting flyers everywhere, handing out DVDs, whatever I could do. Like, people got to know. I actually believed we could reach critical mass about 9/11. But that need is there because people see that the people around us, our neighbors, our family, our friends, are living in a confused and blinded state. And we see like that can destroy them, and we care. Like, that really is the bottom line. We really just care about our neighbors. And so that's why, I mean, even in that video that LD showed, like that very end, like, I'm encouraging people to not be violent. I'm saying the only way to overcome this is non-compliance and civil disobedience. Like, we have to make our own way. Like what we got going on with the food forest and what people got going on with getting self-sustained is that's it right there. And what just went down with the Exit and Build Summit, it's all right there. And this is actually gaining a lot of momentum, and I'm excited to see it, because even just in 2 years, a lot can be done in those communities to have a legacy of freedom.
I think the only way to reach people that are like what seem to be unreachable is to lead by example. Yeah, I mean, is to like actually just start doing the things that you know need to be done. Like, for example, like food forests. I mean, like stuff like that. I mean, when they see like the success of those things and the joy that it brings, like they're going to be drawn to it no matter what. Yeah, I mean, like they can't help themselves, and then they're going to start asking their own questions. You don't have to force it down their throat anymore. Yeah, I mean, they're going to start asking their own questions, be like, why, what's up with that? Like, why are you doing that? And like, or why, like, what brings you joy from that? Or like, what, I mean, then they start asking the questions, and then they can see where your values are, and they can see like that I mean, that it brings you joy and happiness, and like it's sovereignty. Yeah, I mean, on a level that they probably can't comprehend, but like until they actually witness it and see it from vicariously, so to speak, from another person. Yeah, I mean, like like some people are just not going to be reachable until they witness something better that draws them to it. Yeah, I mean, like otherwise, like it's like, yeah, I mean, like I feel you. I've been through that type of stage many times where I just wanted to grab people and beat their head off a post and be like, dude, like, come on, man, like seriously, like like I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, but. And then I realized like me doing that is not going to make anything better, and I'm not going to change their minds at all. And it's just going to frustrate me, and that's just going to make me unproductive. Yeah.
Oh man, I tell you, I've been through that stage about 50 times.
Right.
Now,
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have. But yeah, I'm just saying.
But it's just well, maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe freaking next year.
Yeah. Well, the good news, Mike, is there's about to not be a next year for that scenario. Like there's a definite endpoint here where you're not going to be able to say maybe next year anymore.
Well, I mean, I've got people that like, you know, they like we discussed this prior to 2007 and 2008, you know, that situation, and they got their ass kicked, and then they got, you know, they built themselves back up, and like this go round, they're like, all right, I'm prepared. I got, you know, I'm out of debt. I got this situation, and I'm like, yeah, but the whole fucking currency system is going to change now. You know, you got all this money and shit in these accounts and so forth. And it's like, yeah, you're prepared for 2007 and 8, not for 2022. Right. You know, it's God bless it, man. But you know what, my bottom line on this one is, you know, I'm going to help the people that, you know, that want to be helped. And I certainly want to help you guys. You know, because I think that's really the best thing that we can do is be the example and just help each other freaking knock it out of the park each time that we go up to bat. And that's the best that I think we can do for each other is just, you know, do that kind of stuff.
100.
Well said. Well, Daniel, sounds like, I mean, we could have some from Wiscannabis. We could have some Daniel Wiscannabis reports on Grand Theft World.
That'd be fantastic. I could, yeah, that'd be cool. I thought about taken all those videos from what I was intending to make a series, and I could just do clips, and then it could just lead right to autonomy at the end. That'd be pretty tight. There was one video that when I filmed it, like as I was filming it, I was like, oh, how funny would it be to share this with Rich, or because, well, I'm not sure if you knew Jan Irvin, but like when I was coming up through the podcast, Gnostic Media was one I listened to a lot, and it's relevant to what I'm about to say, because when I was out in the field, I found a gigantic Amanita formosa, and those are really wild in our part of Wisconsin. They're yellow cap, so they work just like muscarias, but they're just a little bit milder. But so I found this giant one, and I was filming, like, look, everybody, it's the magic mushroom. But like, you know, I was just out in the woods having fun with the camera. But it's good to record everything. You never know when it's going to come back and go, haha, you got that on tape.
Yeah, I need to get in that habit.
There was a psycho turkey too. There was this giant white turkey that when my kids came out to help plant, that's right, all my kids came and helped me plant plants. And this white turkey was stalking us because he was about as tall as my two youngest. So he thought he could take him down. So I had to step up and push him away. He was all white with a big red gobbler, and he thought we were there to mess with his girls.
So Daniel, do you like supply like dispensaries or something, or what do you do exactly with all your cannabis / hemp?
I'm sitting on it all right now, making artisan products that have been going to friends and family in my community and a couple people out of state. And just recently LD got a gift pack. So it's all fully integrated. So when I planted, I intended to harvest and sell for biomass. And before the season was over, I was convinced to not do that. I had made a product for my mom's depression, which led to me making a product for the skin. And then those two things worked so well that we're like, this is mine. I got to do this. And so then I've expanded it. I've got a second scent for the topical and a third one that's designed but not manufactured. And it would be like the Wiscannabis Cream Rose, and Wiscannabis Cream Gold. All just have different scents. It's the same formula except for the essential oils that go into the essential oils kind of blend with the hemp, because I do it low, keep all the terpenes at a low temp. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a long story. So no, I had it in a shop for a little while. But after that experience, managers changed hands. They wanted a much larger chunk of the money. And I realized setting up an online store was really the way to go, just direct to consumers with my product, because it's unique. I can't find anyone else that makes what I make and uses the hemp roots and stuff. I don't know, I could go on too long.
Yeah, well, did you see the Leo interview with him? Because that's got to be my best interview yet.
No, I haven't, Michael. You know how ridiculously
I'll send it to you.
I have not. Is it recent or?
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's when I was doing my solar project. So yeah, I haven't caught up on things. But yeah, no. And I also the people that were buying my house backed out. So now it's back on the market and I'm dealing with that right now.
Oh,
so
that's a bummer.
Yeah, it sucks. This is what it blows.
Object lesson for me, TJ. Why did your buyers back out?
Well, because so like I live in a community called Babcock Ranch, and that's honestly, it's like literally like the sustainable Agenda 21 economic or sustainable development goals city in the world. Honestly, like, so it's like, yeah, it's completely solar powered on and on and on, whatever. It's a big and upcoming, but that's a huge attraction for a lot of people, you know. So either way, so they actually, the buyers I had actually do live in the same community, but they live on the other side where they have townhouses, and I have a full single family house. I mean, and they wanted to buy an actual single family house. So they're going to buy mine, but it was on contingency for them to sell their place. Well, they had a buyer too. And like, they ended up going back and forth with the buyer, and because of everything going on, interest rates, etc., I mean, like they kept coming down on the price. I mean, to where they basically were $40,000 lower than what they originally were. Yeah. I mean, going back and forth on. So basically, to get out of our contract, they had to back out of theirs and put their place and take their place off the market. It was the only way that they could void our contract. You know what I mean? So that's basically what they did. So, but I mean, it was on contingency for a month. Yeah. I mean, and like I had 3 more weeks to go before it was all said and done. So I got back from the solar project up at the property. And yeah, like it was the next day actually at like midday. We got a call from the realtor and told us, which was like basically like last week, like the beginning of last week. So yeah, that sucks. So it's back on the market now. And but the thing is like when we had it on the market the first time, like literally it was on the market for 5 days and it was sold. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But that was 2 weeks before interest rates spiked. You know what I
Right.
mean? So now we went from basically a 2.75 national average to 5.5 to 6% national average in mortgage rates. Yeah, I mean, so like, yeah. So I mean, like, there's still people looking and stuff like that, but like, it's not as volumetric as it was before. I mean, like to where I had like 6 showings in a 4-day period of time. I mean, we put the house back in the market just before last weekend, and we've only had 1 in the entire week. Yeah, I mean, to where last time we would have already sold it. You know, so yeah. So I mean, like, honestly, we listed it initially based off our realtor's recommendations, higher than I ever expected to make off it to begin with. And I was pretty shocked that it sold like it did, like as fast as it did. So, and so like, honestly, like I can already predict that I'll probably have to come down some, but like, I still don't even think I'll have to come down to the point of where I like basically like I thought I'd get a certain amount. I mean, and like even if I come down like 30 grand or whatever, like I'm still where I expected to be at the beginning of all of this. So it's not
Gotcha.
completely 100% detrimental, but I'm going to play the game for a little bit. So basically, Amanda and I talked, and like we're going to wait out this weekend. I'm going to the property. I'm going to take my son. She's going to stay here, and so that way, if there's some showings or whatever, we're going to let it go through the weekend. And if nothing happens, we'll do a price drop next week. And yeah, I mean, we'll do it like little increments and see what
Okay.
happens.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. Because I've been trying to gather as much information on the market right now as I possibly can, due to the fact that the listing for this house goes live a week from now. As a matter of fact, we're having pictures are going to be taken on Monday, and then next Thursday it goes up. So hopefully it goes quick.
Where do you live?
About
State?
2 hours outside of DC in Northern Virginia.
Oh, okay. Well, my neighbors are from that area. Actually.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the realtor had indicated that the market was starting to show signs of slowing down, but she still thinks it's going to be a pretty quick deal, even with interest rates going crazy like they have been. So again, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I got my fingers crossed for you, man. And listen, I think she's right to say that. I think you'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, it really just depends on what you're putting it on the market for and your neighborhood and what other things are going for and stuff like that. I mean, all those variables really have like a huge play in all of it, you know? So like for me, and the reason why I haven't dropped it yet is because I know there's other houses in this neighborhood that have sold in the last, since interest rates went up. They've still sold for the price mark that where mine's at now. That's why I'm going to give it a little bit of time. But
Okay.
I think it'll still go and I think it'll still sell. It's just a matter of how long I want to wait, right? Because I had a lot of plans. I mean, I thought I was going to be out of here at the end of the month. Yeah, I mean, we already basically bought another house up north. Yeah, I mean, like with our savings, so it's like kind of tapping us without the money from here. Yeah, I mean, so, but I mean, so like, yeah, we want to get the hell out of here. So it's like, I mean, I know if I just sat on it for a little while, yeah, I mean, like, I my former job was in the building supply industry. Yeah, I mean, so I managed a building supply company and I still talk to the people there and lumber is through the roof still now. Yeah, I mean, like a sheet of plywood's like $40, $45 and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, so like that is what actually increased the market in the beginning of all this anyway. Yeah, I mean, so like,
Oh yeah,
COVID
because it was
first
too
happened,
expensive to build a new home.
yeah, it was the building materials is what spiked the house up or house value up anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's why my house is basically worth almost double of what it was when I bought it. Yeah, I mean, that's all due to building materials. I mean, because all the new houses are getting built at a certain rate because of the market of material at the time of the build. Yeah, I mean, so that way, or therefore everything before that is now going to spike in value as well. Yeah, I mean, because yeah, so like basically, And in a sense, my house was built with the same prices today, even though it really wasn't. It's kind of how it works out at the end. So
Have you felt the insurance crisis that's going on in Florida as far as the housing insurance?
no, not really.
From my understanding, like 9 companies have withdrawn from Florida because of the, I guess they're saying like roofing fraud, but you know, I don't know, a couple 100,000 policies have been canceled in Florida, and they're saying that getting house insurance
roofing
is
fraud, you
about 30
said?
or 40% up.
That's
What's that?
You said roofing fraud? Or that's
Yeah.
what you heard? Okay, I'm gonna have to research that. No, I haven't heard anything about it, but yeah, I'll research
Well, I mean,
it.
that was one of the reasons of one of the companies that pulled out of, you know, they like canceled like 68,000 policies in Florida.
68,000.
Yeah.
That makes me
crazy.
think of hurricanes coming. Sorry, like when I hear about companies doing that, like they pull out so they don't have to cover the damage.
Right,
That's
exactly.
bizarre.
Mm.
Weird.
Well,
Just
you
mean
know,
it's
it's just
time to
one of
push.
those, one of the ways that just like bump up the freaking inflation costs or high inflation costs. You know, of course, insurance have the, you know, have the tie-in with banks. So, you know, like you just take out your highest risk.
Understand
certainly-
also, yeah, understand also that Florida and DeSantis, like, I fucking hate politicians and stuff, but this dude is like, I've time and time again not trusted him and thought he was gonna flake by now. And the dude is solid, and he's continuously, almost weekly, shoves a freaking spike up the federal government's ass, like almost weekly. Seriously, it's crazy. So
So
like
the
with that
insurance
said, like
companies are
he's
punishing
always
them?
calling Biden administration out constantly, like et cetera, et cetera. And you know, all the elitists and all that crap are a big chunk of that insurance business. Yeah, I mean, and our economy in Florida is thriving like crazy. Yeah, I mean, so like I could also see like some back end stuff happening there to where like Florida itself is being somewhat sabotaged from the backside of like the elitist groups and the insurance people that run those insurance companies. Yeah, I mean, just like when the monoclonal antibodies and stuff, we were the first ones to get it taken away from us because we basically told them to F off, like as far as the federal government goes, and we're not gonna, give it out the way you say you want us to get, whatever the case may be. I mean, da. Basically, because we weren't playing ball with the federal government, they basically took it away from us first. You know what I mean? So it's just something to think about. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm definitely going to research it because I hadn't heard that yet. So
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's gonna be another problem, you know, for like closing and shit like that, and getting insurance. And you know, when people like go to look at insurance and it's up 40%, it's gonna be a problem.
absolutely correct. Well, I mean, that's part of the Great Reset. You will own nothing and be happy. Yeah, I mean, seriously though, that's what they're trying to do. That's why, I'm only selling my house because I'm investing in other assets. Yeah, I mean, otherwise I wouldn't sell my house. Yeah, I mean, because that's truly, in my opinion, I believe assets are the key to the future. Yeah, I mean, because in an inflationary era, yeah, I mean, our money's gonna go to, shit. Yeah, I mean, so like, if you have assets though, they don't lose value. In fact, over time they'll gain value. Yeah, I mean, depending on what you should do with them. And sometimes just a dead lot. If I bought that property, yeah, I mean, like when I bought it and I didn't do anything, I just left it growing as a forest. That property already is doubled in value, and I didn't even touch it. Yeah, I mean, now it's even more valuable because I've done a bunch of stuff to it. Of course, the state doesn't know that because I haven't applied for permission for anything. So,
Oh hell! Oh hell!
I'm gonna get a land patent. So, then they can go eat shit because that's my constitutional right.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have to get permits for anything when you have a land patent. You know what I mean, so
Are you gonna get that land
Good to
patent?
know.
well, it's I'm in the process of reading a book, so it's from actually have it. Hold on, it's a little bit of a process, but it's not too crazy, honestly. Like, but you have to go to. Yeah, I mean, you have to actually get with DC and find out who the original landowners were, and you basically got to like provide like this document that shows every single landowner. It's weird too. You got to like post it in like the county public office and stuff as like, I mean, like, and make and like to give anybody opportunity to take claim to that property and stuff. And like at the end of a certain period of time, yeah, I mean, you can take all that information and all that proof. You have to have witnesses and stuff like that.
Notarized.
And, but yeah, it's a little bit of a. I can send you the book. I have it.
Yeah,
right
I
here.
want that book.
Yeah,
because I used to read about lodial land titles. Have you heard of
yeah,
those?
it's the same thing. Same thing.
Oh, so land patent is a lodial land title. The last
less,
I
yeah.
heard, the only state that would agree to issue them was Texas.
That's horse shit. It's a
Okay, so it's-
constitutional right
it's- so
across the
all
whole
50
country. You can
states.
get them in
Okay.
any state if you do the process right. So this guy, so land patents and allodial titles like really got like carried on through time because a lot of it got abolished through like when we became a corporation in the late 1800s. Yeah, I mean, so that's kind of like what happened is like basically when we made these big deals with the bankers and shit is like basically they yeah, I mean all of our land and stuff. The federal government has no right to our land. Zero. Yeah, I mean in America, they have no right to our land whatsoever. Yeah, I mean like, but what has happened because of the corporatization and everything, and the bankers and everything, basically the reason why we have to like have permits and all this other crap is basically because we agreed and unknowingly, yeah, I mean, agreed that like, yeah, I mean that they're like the overseers of this unclaimed land. Yeah, I mean, because nobody's laid claim to it. So that's why we have like a deed. Yeah, I mean, a deed is like it's not an actual, yeah, I mean, document of ownership. Yeah, I mean, like it's not a land patent or an allodial title is. Yeah, I mean, but we're given a deed, and that basically says that it's still their land. Yeah, I mean, and they basically just like look. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, look after it. I mean, so that's why you have to have like you have to apply for permits and everything like that, like for every little thing under the sun. I mean, but there's a way out of that. So anyway, we got carried on through time because of miners and people like that, because like in order to have mineral rights and mining rights to your property, you have to have an allodial title or land patent. Otherwise, like if you dig up a bunch of gold or a bunch of copper or whatever the hell it is on your property, the government can come out and take that shit. I mean, the only way they can't take it is that if you have a land patent or an allodial title that's full rights to that, and that's granted anywhere in the country. I mean, that's part of our constitution.
That's probably based off of,
Yeah.
that's probably
Yeah,
based
I
off
think-
working the land, right?
Huh?
Because that's probably like based off working the land. You go in there and you work the land.
Right, you're a
and
steward
you-
of the land, correct?
Then you
Yes.
exactly, you establish it as yours by your labor on it and
Yes,
proving it.
yes,
Cool. I'm
exactly,
familiar with that. I'm going to catch the rest on the replay. I'm sorry I didn't get to hear from Cody or more from Lawrence about what's going on with you guys, but I got to grab some dinner and then prepare for a class tonight where I'll see you, Cody, later on. So I'll catch you guys later.
Hey guys,
Take care,
real quick,
Daniel.
yeah, I dropped that patent book from archive or from the Wayback Machine. I just dropped it in media production.
Cool.
Oh wait,
I'll,
this is
I'll
autonomy.
get the link
Unlimited.
from
Hold
there.
on, let me put it in regular autonomy.
Yeah, put it in
Hey, TJ,
regular
do you-
autonomy.
That, what you're talking about there, from my understanding about, somewhere in the 1930s, early 30s, when the depression was hitting, they closed down about 30,000 silver mines across the West. And it sounds to me like it was similar to what they were basically saying, that they were, like they had, like title to the land, but not to the natural resources. And so,
Well, they had
basically the government.
Right, they had a warranty. They had a warranty deed to the land, and therefore they didn't have rights to what's in the ground. Yeah, I mean, because they didn't actually have claim to it. Yeah, I mean, all they did basically it's almost like you're renting it from the government until you have a land patent or an allodial title. Is
Yeah.
basically to summarize it. Yeah, I mean, like that's
Does that
the bottom line.
does that create the situation where you can't be taxed as far as property tax?
You can do that. Yes, you can get yourself off the tax roll. Yes, the only thing, yeah, I mean, like which I'll probably do in time, but like some people actually just leave it that way just so that they don't have government constantly fucking with them. But I'm the type of guys it's like fuck you. But anyway, so one of the things is like, yeah, and he explains this in this book is like basically, yeah, you get yourself removed from the tax roll, and basically what happens there is the only thing you really lose is like you lose your right to like emergency services. Yeah, I mean, so like basically if I take myself out of tax roll, I call 911. They're not going to come to my house. You know what I mean? Which I could give two shits. Like, yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, or the fire
Oh,
department or stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, like, but apparently some people in this world care about that. I sure as hell don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like things
I'm not
like
going to
that,
get
like,
SWAT teamed if I.
So yeah, the guy that wrote this book his name is Ron Gibson, and that's what he is. He's like basically a miner, man. He's like actually a Native American. Yeah, I mean, and he
Oh,
was
sweet.
he was in the military. I think he fought in Vietnam and stuff, and he loves his country. Yeah, and he goes in the. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a good. He cites tons of court cases in this. Yeah, I mean, all kinds of stuff. You can go back and
Sounds like
research
his
further.
good
Like
guess
it's never been beaten in court when it's challenged, right? Yeah, I mean, so in other words, like if so he says this, he's like, you can get a land patent, but if you don't know how to defend it, he's like, you could still get screwed. Yeah, I mean, so like that's a huge part of it is like understanding like what it means and how it applies and what to say to officials when they come and fuck with you. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, so there's like that's a huge part of it. Or if you end up in court, you know how to defend it. I mean, like I said, he says that clear as day. I mean, in that book. So, and this is why he cites all the, I mean, because I go into court and I could just cite one of these cases, like defend myself, be like, yeah, well, in such and such verse, such and such. I mean, like this is how it went down, and this is a Supreme Court ruling, which he has in these books. Yeah, I mean, and since America has been founded, like it's never been beaten in court when it's been defended right.
Is he still alive? Is he doing interviews?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, he does do interviews. Actually, how I found him was through, I don't know if you're familiar with the Alpha Vedic podcast, AlphaCast, with Mike Winter and Dr. Berlando.
No.
You gotta check it out, Mike. You'll love it. You'll love it.
Okay.
Dr. Berlando, he's an alchemist and / permaculturist, has like a full property in California, and like Mike Winter is like his kind of his tech assistant, so to speak. But dude used to play like pro football, and then he became a doctor, and he realized how jacked up the health system was, and he like basically went out on his own. Did all kinds of. Dude is like ridiculously smart, and they have a really good podcast. So, and you can find it right on YouTube. It's still on YouTube. It's really good. So I found he's got a 3-part series, or they got a 3-part series. If you go back in their episode catalog with Ron Gibson, that's how I found him, because Bear knows Ron, the guy that wrote this book. And that's how I found this book too. He actually has another book too, but I couldn't find that on the Wayback Machine. So, but yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I gotta go hop out now.
Oh yeah, shit. I didn't realize what time it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
My
Yeah,
computer's
10.
shitting
I gotta
itself
go get
too.
some sun.
So,
Yeah. All right, everybody.
All right, so yeah, I'll talk to y'all later.
all right. Yeah, Cody, reach out if you wanna meet again, go over anything. And
How is there any particular thing that we're getting pinched on? Because it looked like Chris was getting squeezed into 2 things at the same time there. Are we got enough manpower for everything that's going on these days?
well, good question. I mean, I don't know. I need some video editing work, and Cody's asking me for video editing work, and so
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to add, I'm gonna ask Joshua on the on the Friday Q&A.
Is Joshua back yet?
yeah.
Or
Yeah, he is.
ask Richard and or Joshua on the Friday Q&A.
All right. When did he get back? Like,
Just a day or 2 ago.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I have a meeting with him too. Well, I'm supposed to have a meeting with him whenever he gets back. So I was curious because he hasn't reached out to me yet. So
Alrighty.
Cool.
But yeah, I gotta go hop out. So yeah, I'll let you know what comes of that LD.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right. See you,
Take
Cody.
care.
Take care.
Yeah, Mike. It sounded like maybe the bottleneck was Tom Woods joining, coming to guest
That's gonna
speak
be
on
a good one.
the same night that Ron is doing his presentation. I think that was what that was about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing else. My OBS finally opened up again. Got really fucking weird. I was just trying to, it just crashed. Wow. Can you guys still hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Fine. Can't see you, but I can hear you.
Yeah, wow, this thing's really shit in the bed now.
You use Streamlabs yet, man?
No.
Like, basically identical, but easier.
Yeah, I should experiment with it. Wow,
That's what I use, man. I don't have,
fucking
like,
unstable.
I mean, just like in our chats on Tuesdays and stuff, it seems like you have more issues than I do. So,
I have no control right now. Fuck.
You're totally out of control.
Yeah, I can't even. Oh wait, I can make somebody the co-host. Yeah, my one screen is blank, and the Zoom screen is acting weird.
All right,
Jesus
maybe it's time
Christ.
to end this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And the
All right,
suffering.
guys, we'll talk next time.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
good seeing
guys.
everybody.
Later. Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see you later.